Hey YouTube, good morning. Driving back through the airport construction zone to work this morning. Figured I'd try to catch another 5 or 10 minute clip through construction. If you didn't see yesterday's video, there were some really neat finds in that, and I highly recommend you go see it. I retweeted a clip of it this morning on Twitter. There was an unmapped traffic circle that I went through, and while I was going through it, I knew I was going through a traffic circle was new, but what I wasn't watching is what the map was showing the car. And it did it really good, considering, mapping was completely disconnected from where it was taking it. Not only was it a traffic circle, but there was a lot of cones and uncertainty around it that was new, which really just makes the point about vision only versus high def mapping, really can solve some scenarios. I think a Waymo would have gotten stuck in that scenario, obviously, using their technology. All right, here we go. We got a green light here going. It's protected with oncoming traffic. Having a blink. Okay, I'm pressing the accelerator there, and it was not turning left enough, so I'm not sure. It didn't have a nice line to follow there, but yeah, that wasn't too impressive. It had a follow me car. I don't know why it didn't just do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to sip the top of my coffee down. I've already spilled it on my pants once. Anyway, I was pretty impressed by that. There was a couple other little interesting things that weren't quite as impressive, but there was a temporary stoplight. So one of those kind of orange towable things with a stoplight on a pole. It recognized the light correctly, both colors, and it even lowered the position of it. So that was good to see that all stoplights are not created equal and that it still recognizes the input that it's getting. Anyway, on to this morning's drive. Okay, so I've done this exact scenario before. The car wants to change lanes, but it can't. Okay, it's weaving a little bit. Sorry, when I get distracted when it starts doing things it shouldn't be doing. This scenario, the loop onto the highway has been taken away. At least it was a couple weeks ago when I did this. Okay, it wants to change lanes to the right again. This is all mapping because it thinks it needs to get over. It's got to merge. It's coming over. You can see the painted lines say merge here. So we're going down to one lane. I'm going a little slower than the traffic in this area wants me to, but I'm still going over what I think is the posted speed limit. Okay, so this loop here, I'm pointing at the screen, but the loop here is, I'm looking at it, is still not operational, so we have to go straight. So you can even see, if you're looking at the screen, there's a GPS error at the moment, and it thinks it's going to the right. Got a little bit of a merge here, and all of a sudden it should realize, whoa, the road's different. Boom, it just remapped very quickly. That's great. That's exactly what it should do. Now it needs to get over 2 lanes, and it's done the rest of this in the past pretty good. So I'm excited to see how it does it. I don't know if you can see up in the future, the forward view, there's a lot of cones and arrows, and it needs to get over 2 lanes, and it's showing correctly on the planner. It's slowing down more than the traffic wants. Wow, it did a double lane change. Didn't even stop in one lane and put the blinker. It went from one all the way over, which felt like it was new, but it might have just been what it had to do. Either way, it did it. Impressive. All right, needs to stay in the right lane. The planner is accurate there for a right turn here. It's a little bit of a blind left turn, and I'm sorry I don't have my 360 camera with me down here in Orlando. It needs to peek out. I can't see yet, so it needs to creep. I'll see if I can give you a little bit of a perspective. Okay, we've got a green protected light there, so it got what it needed to do. Okay, now we're up on this little overpass that was kind of constrained by cones. Barrels, I would call them barrels. I keep saying cones because it maps them as cones. I'm gonna bump up the speed a little bit just because there's somebody right on my tail that's annoyed with my driving speed here. Okay, last week it took a left here, it didn't do it. Straight with temporary lights, it did it. Hey, wow, that would be cool if a labeler saw my video and captured that. That worked this time. 2 weeks ago, look at this, more temporary lights. Check this out, like on a little robot arm there. Man, this little short drive is short but packed full of different stuff every single week. It's crazy. All right, I'm out of the construction zone now, so it should be smooth sailing from here. Wow, what did we see just then? More temporary lights. The remapping planner for vision worked it worked smoothly today. When it realized that the circle onto the expressway was not available, it remapped in time. It did a double lane change, which some would argue is not legal. You know, going from one lane over 2 lanes continuously with your blinker on. I was always taught, change 1 lane, pause, change the 2nd lane. But the car didn't do that. But it did it smoothly and safely because there was nothing in the way. And honestly, it did it timely. It needed to get all the way over. So maybe that's why it felt like it just did a double lane change, when in reality, it was just doing what it had to do. And then the right turn at the stoplight was a little bit blind, but we had the green light protect us there, so not much to say. And then that one intersection just before we went over the overpass, in the past 2 times I've tried this, it got stuck in the left turn lane even though the planner wanted it to go straight. Today it went straight. Now there was a different scenario with some different temporary stoplights and some other things, but maybe a labeler was able to fix that scenario for me. In any case, that's all I've got for today. I'm almost here at our building. So hey, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. We're getting closer to 10.1 and the possible beta button, beta request button, whatever we're going to call it. Can't wait for that. Have a great day, everybody. Please leave comments below.